So this is what I think. Suicidal thoughts doesn't build up in a single day. It's something that grows gradually, slowly each time when someone is faced with challenges that disturbs their mental well-being. So by the time it fully manifests, it would have matured enough to overthrow any other thought of restraint. This is what I assumed in trying to get some answers after losing a loved one. This is after he had felt his attachment and he had to repeat. Given that attachment is something that seems so obvious to every individual in society. That was the beginning of trouble years back, and with the economic pressure, life didn't favor him with a job like anyone else. So I guess there was no one to talk to openly. People who are outgoing suffer much in their closets. Everyone assumes they are okay and they don't open up either because they think themselves to be strong, or no one is interested in listening to them. Especially for men, it's more like you were born alone and you will die alone. When it comes to pressing issues, no one expects to see us crying, and to avoid being crybabies, we bottle it up. So much has to be done by a boy child, but odds are always against him. Society holds higher expectations for him when there's absolutely no systems to enable him to fulfill those expectations. What I think people don't understand about those who commit suicide is that there's no any two different individual who goes through the same situation and feels the same about it. We deal with it very differently. So no one is qualified to lead to suicides on the pretext that they faced the same situation prior. What I have learned as a solution is that there's nothing new under the sun. The most painful situation happened to someone else before, and they dealt with it in a way that left them still fighting for life. So can you do the same? Another lesson is that it's important to learn to deal with our issues with approach coping rather than avoidance coping. Even when things are okay with us, let's create that habit so that when we are overwhelmed, approach coping habit can help us.
Hello and welcome to the Compassionate Couch. My name is Adiola and I'm an occupational therapist. With me today in studio is Liberty Shuao. Liberty, thank you so much for joining us today.
Most welcome.
Yes, so before we move further, can you please tell us a bit more about yourself so that people can get to know you a bit better?
Okay. My name is Liberty Joao, and I grew up in Bindura, North Central, in rural Bindura, in a place called Kwamsana, Chief Msana. Yes. So, we grew up as boys in rural areas. There's no extended family thing.
Yes.
So we grew up as families.
You mean like your brothers, your dad's brothers' kids, your mother's?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Yes. So in our family we are four, 2 boys and 2 girls. I'm the firstborn, and
Deputy parent.
deputy parent.
Yes.
Yes. So I think having grown up in an area whereby you don't select brothers, or you don't select people in a rural setup. It's like everyone else. Like
Ubuntu, like the whole Ubuntu aspect comes into play.
Everyone else is like a family. But then it's so painful when somebody whom you grew up with, then you are told that they passed away. Especially when you are of the same age, and when you were born on the same day, and
you're practically twins.
Yes, you're practically twins, so to speak. Yes.
Yes. So what happened to your twin?
Okay. I don't have full information about the events leading to him taking away his life. Because when someone is already dead, there are a lot of things that will come into play, and people say a lot of things, but I don't have much to say, because I when you lose someone, it doesn't pay to look for the reasons why they did what they did. But I just woke up to the news saying I had committed suicide, and something that is painful. And the if I remember the atmosphere that was there, like now it's so vivid, and it's something that I can't believe it really happened. Because when someone doesn't feel sick and you're just told that they passed away.
Yeah, and maybe you received a message from them earlier, you're just talking to them and everything seems okay.
Yes.
So what are the speculations around the reason why he committed suicide, confirmed?
I would not want to dwell much
on that.
About on that, yeah. But all I know is he was a child with big aspirations, and little brothers and other people would look up to him as a role model. And when he was at school, he was a brilliant student even at school.
Yes.
And then things didn't go well, especially when he was doing his attachment. It did not perform well. Attachment is something that it's given to us. We think it's given. Everyone else can
just
yes,
exactly.
But things didn't go as expected, and he had to repeat again. So that means he failed. So this is something that happened years before this tragic event.
Yes.
So then as time goes on, with our Zimbabwean economy, it's we are expected to do much as men, as boys, right?
Yes.
But there are no systems that really supports us, or systems that would enable us to fulfill those expectations. So things didn't go well. I'm not saying this as to the reasons that led to this tragic event, but I'm just saying,
it might be a cause,
yes,
one of the
yes,
few causes.
Yes.
Okay. And what were the emotions or the feelings that were at your home, at your house? What was being said about this after he had committed suicide?
Up to now, people say a lot of things. And during that day, some people would pretend to be strong, especially people who are close.
Yes.
But in our Shona culture, people there are a lot of things that people would say concerning a tragedy like this. But I think all I can say is it was a tense atmosphere. And if I remember, if I try to record the situation, the setup that was there during the day, it's something that someone cannot just come to me and say you can get over this. Somehow we get the guts to go and view the body of the late. But when you see someone who hasn't gotten sick, and it seems as if I think about it now, it seems as if he's still somewhere around.
And he's someone clearly who had very big aspirations and big dreams, according to what you're giving us right now.
Yes.
Okay. And my last question is, what would you advise someone who is feeling this way, who wants to commit suicide? What would be your advice to someone who is thinking along those lines?
My advice is, there's nothing new under the sun. The situation that you are going through today, it's happened to someone else before, but they decided to deal with it differently.
Yes.
They decided to fight for life. I'm not saying I'm not trying to belittle the situation that someone else is going through, but I'm simply saying it's something that happened to someone else, but instead of doing what you are thinking about doing today, someone else decided to do it differently.
Yes.
And to the people probably maybe who associate themselves, or maybe the people who are close to the person who wants to do this, people will judge people. I would say we might have gone through the same situation,
exactly.
but we don't come out the same. We might have gone through the same situation, but we don't deal with the situation zvakafanana. We don't deal with it the same. So we go through the same situation, but then we don't come out the same. We are different people. So let's not belittle people who have got suicidal thoughts, or maybe people who have gone through the situation of losing a loved one,
yes,
through this tragedy.
Thank you so much, Liberty, for your wonderful and insightful story. And thank you so much for joining us today at the Compassionate Couch. And I want you to remember also, in suicide prevention, be able to note if someone is trying to commit suicide and remove potential methods or weapons that they can use to commit suicide. For example, guns, poisons, even knives that they can try to use. So thank you so much for joining us today on the Compassionate Couch. My name is Adiola, and with us today was Liberty. And until next time, goodbye. Suicide is the act of intentionally causing one's own death. This can be caused by mental health disorders such as depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, personality disorders, anxiety, and many other disorders that are out there. We also have physical conditions causing suicide. For example, we have chronic fatigue syndrome, substance abuse, and the use of benzodiazepines. We also have stress, or impulsive acts that are caused by stress. For example, stress might be caused by financial, academic, relationship problems, or many other problems that one might face in their social life. And one thing that you have to note is that people who have attempted to commit suicide before are at a higher risk of committing suicide. You can prevent suicide by limiting access to methods of suicide, for example, firearms, drugs, poisons, or any other hazardous items that you may have in your home. You can also prevent suicide by treating mental health disorders and substance abuse. Careful media reporting on suicide also needs to happen within your community so that people can know when to get the help and what to do in the instance that they want to commit suicide. You also need to improve the economic conditions surrounding the person who has thought about committing suicide. The other thing that you can do is you need to talk to your therapist, your counselor, psychiatrist, or any medical professional who is equipped in helping you prevent yourself from committing suicide. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the Compassionate Couch.